let's get rocking. Sit down on your bum first of all. Come into this flagpole pose. Have your toes facing upwards, little toes face towards you as well at the same time. And then from this position, I want you to start working upon the neck. So we're going to work on the back body. Obviously, probably one of the main stretches for the back body and to see how much length we've got there is the forward fold. So if you just see where you're at now, just do a little bit of a forward fold down. Like I'm pretty far off my legs there. I'm like this, about that far off my legs. We'll see where we are at the end of the class. Alright, so what I want you to do, interlink your fingers, place them onto the back of the head. Keep a nice straight spine when you're in this position and then drop your chin down towards your chest. So you're just targeting through the neck. Open up, like this. A little bit of mobilization before we go into a long hold. Down, up again. And just by targeting the neck in different positions, you will actually start to stretch off muscles that they're not pure back body muscles, but they still have a function in having to have some length to allow you to get into those forward fold positions. Bring the hands down towards the thighs, turn the head through. So I usually feel these little cracks and crunches going on. Right round the other way, up and round, look towards the sky. Drop the chin down towards the chest, up. Exhale down, up and round again. Back round towards the top, all the way down. And then drop the chin towards the chest. Again, interlink the fingers on the back of the head and drop your chin towards the chest. Let the weight of the hands take you down. And we're only targeting the neck here. If you get any pain at all, then feel free just to come out of the stretch. But if it's the discomfort that we've talked about over the last 3 months, then it's trying to just sit into it and know that it's going to gradually ease off as you go through. Keep moving through that. We're going to be working through all the different parts of the back body today. Working through neck, working through the mid-back, especially hamstrings, that's where a lot of us are tight, and then calves. So working into the calves in a straight leg position, also working into them in a bent knee position as well at the same time. Okay, open up, hands onto the thighs, turn the head through again. That might feel a little bit nasty after holding it for a long period of time. Come back towards the centre. Hands can come down by the sides if you want to. Draw the shoulders back and turn the toes through. We're in a winding position with the feet. We'll do a little bit of mobilisation through the midfoot as well before we start going into some deeper stretches. Start to pedal one foot back and forth. Both back and forth at the same time. There, keep going between the two. Right foot comes up onto the left. Try to grab the instep of the foot with the right hand and then mobilise with the left hand. So you're just securing the bottom of the foot, mobilising through the top of the foot. It's really important to keep that mobility through the midfoot. Like wringing a towel out a little bit. Right foot comes down, go other side. See if there's any difference between the two. So wring that foot out, turn it through into that position. Good. Alright, both feet come out towards the front. Take an inhale up into the sky and then drop the hands down. Grab onto the ankles and pull the chest through. Turn the toes up and then, as you're sitting here. So we're not going for that head down position, we're going with the chest up position. I want you to lose the posture and pull through. So it's only a little bit of a tilt of the pelvis. No activation into a flex position. Full activation into a fully tilted position. So an anteriorly tilted position with the pelvis. Exhale as you come down. Inhale as you come up. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, pull up. Exhale, down. Inhale, up. Alright. Come back with the hands. Push the chest up towards the sky. A slight counter stretch. Spin the knees round. And the feet all the way to the rear. Hands come out towards the front and then come into downward facing dog. Try and, for this position, not like we usually do, but in a downward dog, I want you to press the heels down. Just let the back go where it wants to go at this moment in time. And that'll allow you to access more of a fascial stretch. Bend the knees and stretch back. And try and, if you can even get the heels down, so lift the toes up. So we'll come bend the knees, push back. Really push the knees back in this position. Right? Extend the legs. Feel that hit the gastroc, the calf muscles. This two-headed muscle, the lateral and medial side. Push away. Exhale. Okay, walk the feet in a little bit further so it's a little bit cramped downward facing dog. It's going to feel probably more intense than it did prior to being in your downward facing dog that you usually go to, the more traditional position. You just hold there. And as you do this, I want you to push back again, heels down, head down. Punch the head through the arms, but keep an activation there with the shoulders as well at the same time. And then drop onto the knees, through onto the chest, extend into your cobra, lift up through the chest again. We're going to go into more of a dynamic stretch next. You slide the hands back underneath. Oh, my bracelet's come off. Tuck the toes, push up. Take a step forwards with one foot, step forwards with the other. Straighten the legs and see where your hands are. It's a little bit easier to get the body down and create more of a stretch when you're in a standing position rather than when you're seated. So just try and stay here for a little bit of time. See where your hands go. Can you go fingertips down to the floor? Can you go mid-shin level? Just make a mental note of where you are. And then take one hand on the back of the other, and I want you to go for the scoop. So you're exhaling down. Exhaling down. Use the breath to flow into it. I'm going to do 20 of these. Don't just let the whole body fold. Remember to still engage through the TVA. Keep going down. Another 5 or so. 4, 3, 2, 1. Now have a look where you are. I know I've definitely increased for myself there. A little bit of my range. So just feel that position again. Bend the knees. Raise up into the sky. Arms come all the way around. Plant the hands onto the lower back. Push the elbows towards the rear. Squeeze and tuck through the bum. Still find that position there. Just hold down. Oh, you can't even see me yet in the video there. Sorry about that, people, for the pre-recorded. Inhale up into the sky. Exhale forward, fold down. Now step back with the right foot. Open up into this half split position. Half split. Push the chest long towards the front. Flatten off through the spine. I'm lucky here because I've got a whole wall mirror, which is awesome. This is one of the new additions to the new studio, which is awesome. And it gives you loads more feedback. If you've got a mirror, I would always say in any of these classes is try and have it nearby so you can see your body position. Push your bum out to one side, toes to the other. We've done this before in previous weeks. And hold here where we are. We'll hit by creating this slight twist. We'll start to hit different parts of the hamstring It's not just one muscle. That's what people tend to think is when we say these groups of muscles like quads, hamstrings, hip flexors, they're not just one muscle, they're a group of muscles. So depending on where you shift your position will depend on which muscle that you hit. Now we're hitting 3 different muscles here. Push the bum to the other way, drop it to the inside, push the bum out. We're hitting like bicep femoris, semimembranosus, semitendinosus, different muscles in the hamstrings as you're just manipulating your position with your hip and your foot. Come back towards the central point, push the chest even longer over that front leg. Longer, longer, longer more. All there. You should see a difference by the end of this class. Now I want you to bring the head down towards the knee. Feel the difference there. Now push the hip out to one side. Keep the head down. Hold down here. Head down, head down. You tight through your hamstrings. The session's going to be a bit of a killer. Head down again. Pushing your bum towards the other way. Foot to the inside. Bum to the outside. Come back towards the centre. Head down. Should be easing off a little bit more now. Head down. Relax through. Now bend through the front knee. Create slight relief through the hamstring. It might be for you. Tuck the back toe. Come up into your forward fold. Now feel the difference there in that forward fold. Feel how much tighter the right leg feels now. And I want you to go into 10 of these scoops for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Step back with the left foot. Come into your half split on the opposite side. Turn the toes up, flatten off through the back. Push the bum towards the sky from there. Breathe in and out. Toes up, toes up. That's it. Push the bum to the sky, push the bum to the sky. Hold through. Strong in this position. Let yourself ease into it. And rather than having a contraction pulling the heel into the floor, I want you to try and just relax into the stretch. Turn the toe outwards, bum inwards in your half split position. And now you know where this next sort of few stretches are going to move to because we've just done it on the opposite side. Always frame on the opposite side so you're not favouring. Push the bum towards the other side, toes inwards this time. And we're going to go after being here for a little while. And if you also feel that you're not particularly comfortable here and you feel like you're not able to flatten off the spine, then you can grab a couple of blocks and bring yourself up so you know that you have got a good position. Come back to the centre point, head down again, hold there. Bringing the mid-back and the neck into this now. Really tuck your chin into your chest. Push the bum to the inside, foot to the outside. Hold strong, but relaxed through the breath. Turn it through opposite way, bum to the outside, foot to the inside. Hold strong there again, but relaxed in breath. Back round to the centre. One last exhale. Come forward. Pick up the back knee, left foot comes in towards right. See where you are now. Now at the start I was pretty much struggling to get my hands flat to the floor. I'm not expecting you to get there, but that's relatively easy now there. To get my palms to the floor from before. So even on the scoop now I'm going to sort of bend my elbows. So try and use scoop in action for 10, 9, 8, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands down. bend the knees, raise up, into the sky both hands, all the way around towards the rear, push the chest up. That should feel nice after being in a folded position for a long period of time. Bend the knees if you want to. Maybe take the hands onto the knees and turn them through a couple of times. Just give yourself this break from the hamstrings getting hammered with stretches. And then sit yourself down onto your bum again. From here, we're going to go into some familiar stretches. Isolate through either leg, first of all. Sole of the foot to the inside of the thigh. And then from here, try and grab onto this leg and square your hips off. Try and go back long before we go head down. Back long. I'm going to stay for a good while, a good minute at least, within this posture. Head comes down. Head is down in that position. If you want to make this a little bit more intense, what I tend to do, don't just stop it, but if you can get your head to your knee, you try and lengthen out through the hamstring. So feel where you need to place the workload. I try and pull my chest long, and I try to reach my chin over my knee. So try and see where your chin is with regards to thigh. Obviously if you're not down there at the bottom, don't worry, it's not a requirement again to get to that position. But over time, you should start to get your head further down. But once you get your head further down, then you don't stop there. That's not the end. You keep trying to lengthen up through towards the feet, or the foot, the front foot with the chin. Keeping the hips square to that front foot. Raise up into the sky. Big stretch up there. I've actually been really tight over the last couple of days, admittedly, from been doing some tough sessions come forwards, especially back body, so this is somewhere that luckily for me I'm teaching you, but at the same time I'm getting a good stretch off myself. Push the chest long again. If you can go head down, go head down. But remember, still trying to work further into your forward fold. Gonna have a check after this to see where we are in that forward fold position compared to the other side. Just stay there, just checking the timing. Awesome, cool. I feel about a lot of time. Stay there, chin down. And then raise up towards the top. Now we're going to have a little bit of a test there for both legs towards the front. See where we are now. Hands up, exhale, forward fold. I'm going head down the knees now. Again with not much effort. So that is how much sort of room that I've created just from 18-20 minutes of stretching. Yeah? The more you go into it, the better it becomes. Now we're going to stay here. This way again it becomes even more intense. Because you're trying not to fidget, you're keeping the chin down. Technology. We're back in the game. People who were doing pre-recorded probably thought, well, maybe you're thinking now, if you're watching back, what went on there? Well, your hands are up into the sky magically. Now, bring the legs round. Going to go into our Cobra again, just to get a counter stretch from there. We'll move into the shoulders in a second, and also the back of the neck. We might also do a little bit in a straddle position as well. Push the chest up towards the sky. From here. Now lie over onto your right hand side and feed this arm through the gap. And what you're going to do, it's called a sleeper stretch because I know I sleep like this, so on my side. You try to turn the body over, keep the arm in the same position, and then your raising the hand up in a 90-degree angle. Just be careful through this, but you're going to start to create a little bit of downward pressure through the hand. And just rest it there. In fact, let's go pump from front to back a couple of times. It's like a deep tissue massage on my on my triceps as well. Another place that I was working on was it Monday? Yeah, Monday. So I still got some decent DOMs there. A couple of days later, which is a good sign. I like the feeling of DOMs. It makes you realise that you've really hit an area properly. It's kind of stretch through parts of the rotator cuff here. Back from that point. Give the arm a turn round, we'll go the opposite side. So lie onto your side, extend the left arm out, roll the whole body over the top. Roll that whole body over the top, take the hand there again, and start to turn through with this hand. I'll show you this side so give you a better view. Turn over, hand down, back to the top, hand down again. Up and over. That's it. More range on this side. It's always good to try and think about, just stay down there now. It's always good to try and think, why have I got more range to the side? I think I'm actually weaker through my right shoulder than my left. And when the shoulder's weaker, if I've been doing some hard sessions, then usually the rotator cuff's working a lot harder than it was than the other side. So it becomes tighter, more fatigued. So that's usually why there's a little bit less range of movement here. Relax out of that. Alright, from here, bring the legs round, come into the downward dog position, push the heels to the floor, see if that's any different from where you were at the start. Hold there. Take the right foot up into the sky, right foot comes forwards and then drop into this straddle position. Rather than just come straight down towards the front though, you're going to keep the left hand in the centre, right hand's going to come towards the ankle and then you're going to drop the head down towards the right knee. So you're pushing away with that middle hand, pulling in with the right hand. But you're still using the breath to slowly guide you down. Pull in there. Pull in a little bit more. A little bit more still. Walk round towards the centre. Let everything fall through. Let the body hang. Hamstrings are stretched there. Walk round. Left hand onto the ankle, head down towards the left knee. Same form with that. Pushing away with the middle hand. If you can't grab the ankle, obviously go a little bit further up the leg. If you can't get this hand down to the floor in the middle, put a block there, something to give you a bit of height so you can get into that position for a start. Push around. I think it's important to say as well in these stretches, you've moved into the muscle. What you're trying to do as well at the same time, if you woke up the next morning, you wouldn't keep that length of musculature. Alright, come back to the centre, you wouldn't keep that length of musculature because all the muscle spindles, all of the protective mechanisms of the body start to go sensitive again. So you're just trying to drop past them, but as you create more muscle length, then you'll create more or less sensitivity through these protective mechanisms,
and then that's how your flexibility changes for the long run. It's not that you've worked into this forward fold position, you wake up the next morning and you can stay in it. So you haven't created that much muscle length as such. You've probably not created that much muscle length at all. The thing that you've really created is this desensitization of the body and allowing it to let you go deeper into the stretch. And from that, like a joint result of that is a little bit more muscle length, but also the sensitivity. So they join together to create this improved flexibility, but you'll only be changing it in a very minute way. That's why you need to have consistency through this flexibility, where when you first start flexibility you might find you get loads of gain, and this is like in any program that you do training wise, you get loads of flexibility. You come back around towards the front because you're probably so hypersensitive in area through the musculature, allowing you to get into the muscle, that as soon as you actually work through that sort of base sensitivity, then you start to create this, well, your body starts to go, actually, I'm okay going into this realm, and then you find from that point. So you get a big jump, but then it starts to tail off a bit. Sit back onto your heels, do a calm stretch with the front of the quads, the front of the legs just in a bent position, and then raise up towards the top, hands onto your back, push the elbows back. If you want to give it a go, come back into a forward fold position. Let's just do it for the end of the class. See how much the body's relaxed into this now. So it may be a little bit uncomfortable now. I know my hamstrings were tight today. They feel uncomfortable because I feel like I've really moved past these defense mechanisms of the body and moved into the muscle belly and allowed myself to really create some length there. So hopefully you're feeling the same. It should be, and that's a result that you know that you've gone into the right realm. So you can actually get some DOMs from deep stretching. It's not a bad thing. It's not an injury. It's just the body being stressed, and if it's stressed, then you can develop, if you allow it to recover from that as well. That's also something that people don't tend to think about, is having recovery from flexibility, but you should really have some recovery from flexibility to allow your body to remodel itself. Right, well done. That is the session for the day. Well done to the people who are on the pre-recorded video. Might have got a little bit over time, but we got some extra stretches in there, so happy days.